Alright, what's up traders? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. In today's video, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Alright, so we're going to start out by Bitcoin versus the US dollar here on Bitstamp. And before I start the actual analysis here, I just want to give a huge shout out to Prime XBT. Prime XBT is sponsoring the channel and it's my main go-to exchange for trading Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and all Forex pairs available. So if you're not a member already, check out the link in the description below. You can also check out the link in the rolling text to the left of me and use the promo code LIBS42 bonus. Get a 50% increase on your first deposit with a maximum amount of 1 Bitcoin. Alright, so the weekly time frame for Bitcoin is still looking extremely bullish. Even a retest of the 10 to 10.5k area would be extremely bullish. And we also have the CME gap down at 9.6, around 9.6, I think between 9.6 and 9.7. A weekly wick down into that area. Looking at the daily, it's actually confluent with a pretty nice horizontal support and resistance area. So a weekly wick into that area and a weekly close above 10k would still be considered very, very bullish. I think a lot of people are starting to become a bit bearish on Bitcoin now for the, but really Bitcoin is bearish on the lower to medium time frame, right? But not on the higher time frames. So on the high, that's why I wanted to start up by the weekly and tell you guys, like, there's no need to panic. Bitcoin is still extremely bullish on the higher time frames. We are above the 10 to 10.5k area. If you guys been following me for a while, you know that I've been looking for a potential retest of the 10 to 10.5k area. And if you look, it's quite simple. It's an untested support area on the weekly, the daily, even the 4-hour time frame, right? So it's quite logical for price to when you break a significant resistance to the upside, it's quite logical for price to come down and test that area, because that area will most likely act as a kind of magnet, right? So for a high time frame in validation area, I'm looking for closest below 9k. So closest below, the 9 to 8.7k area is going to be, in my opinion, the area where I'm going to start to become, more bullish, bearish on Bitcoin, right, on the higher time frames. And that's, that's a 20% retrace on from current prices. So in my opinion, it's very likely that Bitcoin will retrace, 10 to 15% from current prices. And we're going to look at the more local price action on the daily, and you will see that if you add the moving averages right here, you will see that we lost the 21 EMA in the daily. Not a good sign. We lost the 21 EMA in the daily. We lost the RLC on this latest up move. We're in the process of creating a lower low. So we're actually now starting to see bearish market structure on the daily. On the 4-hour, it's quite obvious here what's going on, right? So we lost the RLC. We lost this trend line that's been keeping price bullish for the last couple of weeks. We lost that trend line. It kind of looks like we want to come up and test that trend line again. Looking at the hourly right here, we see a we saw a bounce down in the 11.2k area, and if you look at this chart right here, 11.2 is actually, well, we held the range EQ of this range, this daily range, which is very nice, right? So couple of things I want to point out here. Looking at this chart right here, looking on the 4-hour on this chart, it looks very bearish. While looking on the daily time frame, well, this is the 4-hour time frame, but the daily range without the moving averages or anything like that, and we have only the range EQ area on this chart, it's actually looking not too bad, right? Not too bad. We might get another move to the upside, but I would probably be more inclined towards downside here because of the fact that we're losing the daily 21 EMA right here, confluent with the midpoint of the RLC, and we're losing this trend line. The area that I'm looking for the next stop, in case we go lower, it's going to be the green and the red line right here, which is the 55 and the 50 EMA on the daily. So just to sum it up here before we go over to Ethereum, we're losing the trend line. We're starting to see bearish market structure on the 1-hour. Well, the 1-hour is very bearish. The 4-hour obviously bearish too, and we lost the trend line. So the next stop for Bitcoin on the way down is most likely the 10.9 to 10.850. So the 10.950 and 10.850 area for a potential bounce if we lose this range EQ area, right? And really, I think this is most probably the beginning of a move down to the 10 to 10.5k area. And it would probably not be a very stupid idea to start looking for shorts around this area to kind of ride the trend down to the high time frame support area. If you want to be super safe, wait for this whole EQ area, range EQ area to fail, which is the bottom of that one is 11.2. So look for a breakdown of 11.2, but really if you look at this price structure right here, it's quite obviously bearish, right? You get a low, high, break the low, retest the high, break down, break the low, might come up and retest that low again for continuation down for a move like that, right? That's how a trend looks like, and it's very likely that if you get rejected up around 11.4, 11.5, we're most likely going lower, right? And that could be your signal to enter a short, or another way to do this would be something like this, right? And enter your short right here on the bearish retest of the range EQ area with a rounded retest on the 4-hour. All right, let's go over to all right, so this is Ethereum USDT on Binance, and I've marked out this $366 area as an important support, but really what you gotta watch here is the area between 320 and 285. That's a very strong support area, and I think that area is confluent with the 10 to 10.5k area for Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin retraces down to the 10.5 to 10k major support area, it's very likely that Ethereum will also lose about 20 to 25% of its value from current levels. We have an important support area before that, and that's going to be this area right here. Let me mark it out as a support area. So breaking below this green box, which is the area between 377 and 367, break down that area, and we're most likely going to test the $300 area below for a move like this, right? You see the trend line is the downtrend is quite obvious here, right here, and I'm looking for a continuation to the downside if we break this level, right? So you got a broken support here, possibly, well, got a broken support here with a possible bearish retest. The next level will be here. The continuation to the downside. If we break this level, the move will quite likely be quite big, and this area for Ethereum is confluent with this range EQ for Bitcoin. So if the range EQ from the daily range breaks down for Bitcoin, we're most likely going to see a breakdown on Ethereum here, and I will be looking for fill up my long-term bags around $300 for Ethereum. Right, so here's a Litecoin versus the US dollar on Binance LTC USDT, and I'm actually seeing a quite similar price development for Litecoin here. It's like on the higher time frames for Litecoin, it's quite obvious that Litecoin is bullish, right? We have broken above the $50 range, which means that it's more likely going to continue to the upside. We kind of get out of this low zone right here and started to develop a bullish market structure, especially on the daily, right? The daily is looking quite good, but it's also very important to note this area above. This level right here, when broken down, started this move down to the lows, right? And we're slowly but surely starting to reclaim that area. I'm seeing something similar on Litecoin here, like I'm seeing on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think that area that I've been showing as support on Ethereum and Bitcoin, let's just use the middle of the RLC here, because I think it's quite significant, right? Let's mark it out right here. This area, right? Confluent with the RLC, pretty nice horizontal support and resistance area inside this range. You can kind of draw a range on Litecoin here, and you're probably going to get a very similar range as Bitcoin, right? So let's draw it here. You can see how the range EQ area is close to the support area, right? I'm going to view this green level as the range EQ area for Litecoin, and if we break the range EQ area, I think it's quite likely that we are going to come back and test the $50 area for Litecoin. But it's important to remember here that as long as the range EQ area for Bitcoin holds, as long as the range EQ area for Litecoin holds, and as long as the support around the current prices for Ethereum holds, I'm still, you know, looking for upside, especially on Ethereum and Litecoin. But honestly, I think Ethereum and Litecoin is looking a little bit more bullish, honestly. Bitcoin is going to lead those two too. I mean, so if Bitcoin dumps, Litecoin and Ethereum is most likely going to dump too, right? So I think it's very important to view Bitcoin as you know, a leading indicator here for Litecoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin is still the king of the crypto market, and it's probably going to continue to be that in the next couple of years, right? So you always have to keep your eyes on Bitcoin. And honestly, Bitcoin is looking quite dumpy right here. It's not looking that strong. The only reason to be bullish on the current price action for Bitcoin is because we're holding this range EQ right here. But the market structure on this chart right here is looking quite bullish. I mean bearish, sorry. So I'm actually looking for, you know, a bearish retest of the range EQ area. I mean the trend line, the lower part of the RLC, the trend line, and quite likely also going to see a, not unlikely that we are going to see a retest of the 21 EMA daily, because usually when you break down, when the 21 EMA daily breaks down, you're usually going to get a retrace up and retest that area, and that retest, if it's bearish, are most likely going to be a bearish retest. Right, so for a possible trade here, for a possible trade on Bitcoin, let's look at the, you know, retest of the 21 EMA daily. And even down to the 50 and 55 EMA, we're going to have about a 2R, so that's decent. But it's probably going to take a couple of days for the, you know, for price to come up to the 21 EMA daily, and with that, we're probably going to see the 55 and the 50 come up a little bit too. So it's probably going to be below a 2R. But for a trade down to the 10.5K area, I think this is looking quite good actually, as, you know, for a short. And you can take, you know, partial profits here, like 50% off here, and move your stop into entry for a free position, and the next profit taking down there. All right, so that's just a quick analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this one. All right, take care guys, and I'm gonna upload this video as quickly as possible. See you in my next video.